Howdy, hi. It is Do Your Job Sports WNBA Picks and Predictions for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. We're looking at the best bets of the day. Let's get into the video. All right, so it has been, I think, 5 days since I posted a WNBA video. I went on a mini vacation. That is what I do in the summer, seeing as though I teach, and that is the only time I have off. But we're back. So this is a recap, not of the previous day's results. This is all the way back to June 11th. We went 6-2, bringing our season record to 65-63. I will just simply recap the games based on what I'm looking at on my app. We had the Seattle Storm beat the Lynx 94-84. We had the Sparks beat the Aces 97-89. Then you had the Phoenix Mercury take down the Wings 93-80. We hit both of our player props. We had Chelsea Gray over 16.5 points and rebounds. We had Gabby Williams over 18.5 points and assists. If I remember correctly, Chelsea went over by a ton. And then Williams, I think she hit it by 2 or maybe even half. She might have landed on 19 PA. But either way, we go 6-2. We lose on the under 155.5 in the Lynx game. That one ended at 178. Then the Aces, we had them minus 10.5. They lose the game by 8. Turns out the Aces are bad. Nobody gets taken off or added to the ban list. All right, that's it. That's the recap. Let's get into the picks for tomorrow. All right, so it is a completely filled slate tomorrow. The only team that does not play in the WNBA is the Mercury. And that's the way it has to be, considering we have 13 teams in the league. So every day, or every time every team is scheduled, there's going to be at least one not playing. And today it's the Mercury. We kick it off with an egregious basketball game. Connecticut Sun, Indiana Fever. All right, so this might be, actually I think this is the largest line we've seen in the W this season. I remember the Liberty, I think, were a 16.5 point favorite to the Valkyries a few weeks back, but 18.5 with an Indiana Fever team that just lost to this Sun team 2 weeks ago is nuts. Yes, they lost to them without Caitlin, but you're telling me Caitlin Clark is somehow going to turn that game around by 20 plus points? What kind of nonsense is this line? Now, the Sun, they suck at basketball. They're 2-8. They've lost their last 2 games by 37 and 12 points. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you that the Sun are a good basketball team because they are not. But every once in a while, they get up for a basketball game and they win. They've covered this number, the 18.5 number, in 6 out of their 10 games, which really doesn't sound great. But it's more than half the time, so it's not awful. They've already seen this Fever team. They should get up for this game. Trying to beat them with Caitlin Clark should definitely be something they're going to want to edge out and do. The Fever, they just beat the Liberty at home by 14 points. So this is a major letdown spot. Yes, they have Caitlin Clark back in the lineup. Yes, she almost went for a triple-double in her first game back in like 3 weeks. But you're laying almost 19 points. That's ridiculous. I'm going to have to blindly fade any team laying 18.5, especially with the Fever, who are 5-5. They really haven't blown anyone out of the water with or without Caitlin. So I'll take the Sun at 18.5. I'll also take the over, 165.5. If the Fever do cover this number, they're probably going to score 100 themselves. So give me the Sun and give me the over. Next game. This one's probably the game of the night. It's either this one or the Storm and the Sparks for me. To give me Atlanta plus the 8.5, and then give me the over 164.5. Atlanta's looking good. They've won 3 in a row. Liberty are dealing with some injuries, and Leona Febic overseas playing in Eurobasket. So if John Quell doesn't play this game, I see no reason as to why this line should be 8.5 for the Dream. I think they should be maybe 3.5, 4.5 point favorites without John Quell, but this Dream team is kicking. Dream 8-3 on the year. They've won their previous 3 games by 19 points, 18 points, and 23 points. They're getting ridiculous production from Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard. Jordan Canada back in the lineup that is really allowing both Alicia and Ryan to go out and score. Just now realized I spelled Ryan Howard's name wrong. That sucks. Not changing that. The Liberty, they're 9-1. Like I said, they just lost their most recent game to the Fever. Big news, Jonquel Jones questionable with an ankle injury. Leona Febic, like I said, out for nearly the next month, along with a lot of the foreign ladies in the WNBA playing overseas in Eurobasket. Without Jonquel Jones, I don't think the Liberty are all that in a bag of chips. Like, yes, you still have Stewie, you still have Sabrina. Sabali is good as a backup center. Natasha Cloud, she's been quiet recently, but yes, she's good. But 8.5 to the Dream, they're 8-3. They're one of the most veteran teams in the league. They're good. I don't think this number should be this large. Like I said, if Jonquel ends up not playing, I could see this easily dropping to 5.5, 4.5, maybe 3.5. Jonquel is that important to their offense. So, not knowing the status of her and just with how well the Dream are playing, give me the Dream and give me the over. All right, now these next two games are absolutely fucking disgusting. I didn't think I would be saying that against with the Aces playing the Lynx, but no Asia Wilson, and based on how the Aces have looked, it's going to be gross. That being said, I am still blindly betting this Aces team. It's cost me a lot of money. It has slowly turned into the Louisville of college basketball, but here we are. The Lynx really haven't sold it to me this season, coming off of a relatively bad loss to the Storm. If the Aces were to randomly steal a road game without Asia Wilson, this would probably be the game to do it. So I'm going to put my faith in Becky Hammond, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Jewel Lloyd. Probably going to bite me in the ass, but here we are. Aces 5-5 on the year. They just lost a home game to the Mercury by 6 points. Now it sounds like a bad loss, but considering that was their first full game without Asia, and they only lost to a Mercury team who got back Alyssa Thomas and Kalia Copper, I don't think that that's bad. It's really just going to be the Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd, and Chelsea Gray show. Their defense was surprisingly good in that game, holding the Mercury to 76. I don't think they're going to be able to play that good a defense against the Lynx, considering you have to deal with Nafisa Collier and everyone else on this team, like Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, that one white chick I'm forgetting the name of. Damn, what is her name? Nope, it's escaped me. Anyway, Lynx, they're 10-1 on the year. They just beat the Sparks at home by 23. Really don't think that's saying much, though, because the Sparks have been some ass recently. Their previous road game they played was to the Storm. They lost by 10 points. They are without their bench player, Jessica Shepard, for, I think, the next month. That is not Eurobasket related. She is just injured. Actually, is that Eurobasket related? Hold on. I have no idea. But she is a big deal coming off the bench. She averages 6.5 points and 7 rebounds. That's a lot of production to be missing from a bench player. Really don't think this should be double-digit spread. Yes, the Aces are without Asia, but they're still a good team. They may suck recently. They're 5-5. But 12.5 points to the Aces is an absurd number. Give me the Aces. Give me the over. Now this is probably the worst game of the day by far. Mystics in the Sky. Two teams who are horrible. I really don't want to lay 3.5 with the Mystics, but the Sky are on the ban list, so I'm not allowed to bet them. If they cover this number, actually no, pause. If they win this game, they will be taken off of the ban list. If they lose this, regardless of if they cover or not, they're staying on the ban list. So here we are. Mystics 4-7, 33-point loss to the Dream in their most recent game. Before that game, they beat the Sun by 37. That is the state of the WNBA. They're really bad in basically every single statistical category you could look at besides rebounding and overall field goal percentage. Sykes and Citron should be able to dominate the Sky defense. You're not going to be able to, you're not going up against Vandersloot anymore. The main defender they have on their team turns into the power forward center combination of Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. You're not really concerned about Haley Van Lith. You're definitely not concerned about Ariel Atkins. You shouldn't be concerned about anyone on this Sky team because they're not good. Should be a really good battle down low with Kiki Iriafan and Angel Reese going up against each other. Very excited to see how that one goes. Then you're going to have Stephanie Dolson against Cardoso. That one's going to be atrocious to watch. They're going to have to bring on Shakira real quick. The Sky, they're somehow coming off of a win by 12 points. Oh, I wrote against the Sky. Well, they are the Sky, so they can't beat themselves. They beat the Sun by 12 points. Angel Reese went for a triple-double. I did not think those words would ever come out of my mouth, but here we are. They've only beaten 2 teams this year. That's the Wings and the Sun. Really don't think they can beat anyone else. They're not good. They don't have Vandersloot. It is going to be Haley Van Lith and then Angel Reese doing all of the ball moving. I didn't really think I'd be saying that either, as they're trying to move Angel into like a point forward position where she kind of runs the offense. It worked last game, like I said, triple-double, but that was against the Sun. If you can do it against the Mystics, you will be taken off of the ban list, but I have to see it to believe it. Another just horrible basketball game. Give me the Valkyries plus 3.5. Give me the under 163.5. This has got to be the first time in a long time that a 1-11 basketball team is laying almost 4 points to a team that is 500. Now, the main reason for that is the Valkyries are without a ton of their starting lineup and a few bench players because of the Eurobasket. But I really just think that's going to motivate them. I recently listened to an interview with Natalie Nakase, which is the Valkyries head coach, and they've signed a bunch of players. They brought players on from their practice squad that they had try out. They're excited for about the next month of basketball without their starters. They are ready to win games. The Valkyries, they've won 3 in a row, and it's been against 3 good teams. They beat the Sparks, the Aces, and the Storm. Those are 3 of the most veteran teams in the league, and they went in and clapped cheeks. Now, like I said, they're without a ton of their starters. You can go through their injury report. They're just all overseas playing Eurobasket. They're getting great production from a few players, mostly Kayla Thornton and Burton, their point guard. I think technically backup point guard. Either way, I think they should be able to beat this Wings team outright. The Wings are horrible. The Wings, they've only won 1 game all year, and it was against the Sun. They most recently lost back-to-back games against the Sky. They can't shoot it well from deep. They don't play any defense. They don't have anyone good down low. Arike Gumbawalo is actively trying to lose basketball games so she can get traded. Paige Beckers is your entire team. Why are you laying 3.5 points? The answer is I don't know. Give me the Valkyries. Give me the under. All right, final game before we get into player props. This is probably the second best game of the day. Sparks and the Storm. I'm going to take the Sparks plus 7 at home. That'll also give me the over 162.5. No clue why the Storm are laying this many points. I looked on the injury report, saw nothing. I checked the Sparks Instagram page, website, a few other outlets. Nothing of injury news. This number should not be 7. I'm very confused. Sparks coming off of a nice road win recently at the Aces. We're not going to talk about that Lynx game. They beat the Aces. That's good. The Storm, they are 6-5 on the year. They just lost a road game to the Valkyries by 6. 2-3 on the road straight up this year. They struggle big time with rebounding, last in the WNBA in that category. They are 12th overall in defensive rebounding, 13th in offensive, for a cumulative of dead last. These teams match up pretty well in terms of size. It's really going to come down to who plays better. Is it going to be Gabby Williams, Kelsey Plum, or is it going to be De'Erica Hamby or Nneka Ogwumike? Maybe you could throw in some flyers like Azuree Stevens. Maybe she does well. Maybe Rakia Jackson finally gets it going back from injury. But I really don't see why this line is 7. Sparks, they just lost to the Lynx by 23. But like I said, we're just going to toss that to the side. Forget that game ever happened. Before that, they beat the Aces on the road. We're going to remember that game. That was a good game. They really have to start playing more through Hamby and Stevens. I saw, I think on an interview recently, Kelsey Plum complaining about not getting calls. Kelsey Plum has the highest amount of minutes played in the league, highest amount of points scored in the league, highest fourth quarter usage in the league. Like, you can't keep doing this with your 5'8", 125-pound point guard. That is not going to work. Sparks, figure it out. I think it starts here. Big home win. All right, and then finally, we're going to take a look at 3 player props. Normally, I wouldn't give 3, but there's 6 games, and I have all the player props available, so I said, screw it. Let's get active. First one, we're going to the Valkyries game. Kayla Thornton, give me the over 22.5 points plus rebounds. I have no idea why this is this low. She's been doing literally everything for this team. She's hit this number in her last 3 games, and it really hasn't even been close. She dropped 34 points and rebounds, 29 PR, and then 33 PR. She's been flying over this total. The Valkyries, like I said, are without majority of their main scorers on offense. She's being asked to do a ton more than she normally is. Her most recent 4 games, I should add, she has averaged 16 shot attempts. I see no reason why she shouldn't be able to get off 15 plus here. The Wings don't play defense. Next game, Alicia Gray, give me the over 25.5 points plus rebounds and assists. Gray's been on fire. The Liberty are without their tall guard defender in Leona Fibic. She's going to have a combination of Sabrina and Natasha Cloud on her. Neither of those are very tall. Alicia Gray is tall. She's like, I think 6'1", maybe 6'2". So she's going to have a massive height advantage. Not to mention, she is shooting it lights out from the field. 51% from the field, 42% from deep. She has hit this 25.5 number in 6 out of her last 8 games. Why is it this low? I don't know. Finally, Chelsea Gray gave me the over 22.5 points plus rebounds and assists. No Asia Wilson. That means she's going to be getting a lot more shot attempts. Gray's going to have the ball a ton. We're talking about in her hands. Asia Wilson, not normally one who gets assisted to very often. Asia likes to get the ball, pick it up right about half court, take it to the mid-range, pull up for a J, or just take it straight to the hoop. You're normally not going to see many Chelsea Gray to Asia Wilson assists. So that means Chelsea's going to have her ball more in the half court, set up the offense, get it going, kick it out to someone, or find them cutting to the hoop for some easy assists. I think her assist number could easily be 7+, and then she's going to have to shoot the ball more because there's no Asia. So 22.5 PRA sounds too low to me. All right, that is going to do it for me in this video. We will be back fully tomorrow with the MLB. I was going to do both tonight, but considering there's 6 WNBA games, this took me a bit longer than I anticipated. So we'll be back tomorrow fully with an MLB video as well. All right, I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.